Good morning, students. So, evolution of management thought. So, in the previous class, we have discussed about the evolution of management thought and stages. Okay, there we have three stages. I have said classical approach, neoclassical approach, modern approach. So today we are going to discuss with the classical approach. In classical approach, we are going to discuss with the bureaucratic management approach. Bureaucratic management approach. About that we are going to discuss today in today's class. Okay, so actually see Maya. Actually, what is a bureaucratic management? Okay, before that we will be learning that who has given this bureaucratic management. Okay, briefly we will discuss about that. Okay, so here see, what is a bureaucratic management means, also known as legal relation model and Weberian bureaucracy. Okay, nothing but this bureaucratic management is given by Mr. Weber. Mr. Weber. Okay, his full name is Carl Emil Maximilian Weber. His full name is Carl Emil Maximilian Weber. Actually, it is developed by Mr. Weber, 1864 to 1920, a German sociologist. He is a German sociologist. Weber is often cited with Emil Durkheim and Karl Marx as among the three founders of sociology. Nothing but he is with whom? With Durkheim and Karl Marx. Okay, three of them. Okay, so three of them are called as a sociologist. Next, here in this bureaucratic management, actually what it contains means, you see, actually what is the meaning of bureaucratic management means, you see, contains two essential elements including structuring an organization into a hierarchy and having clearly defined rules to help govern an organization and its members. Little bit confused na, so listen carefully. Actually, what is the meaning of bureaucratic management means, here nothing but the Weber, what he has said means, organization is nothing but it is a structure. It is a structure from hierarchy. Hierarchy means what ma? From top level to the lower level. From top level to the lower level, it is called as a hierarchy. So here in that hierarchy, there are nothing but there are certain rules and regulations that each level they have to follow. Rules and regulations they have to follow the each level, nothing but a higher level, lower, middle level, lower level. So in that levels, employees will be there, managers will be there, in higher levels CEOs will be there. Okay, those all will be there. So they, what they have to do, they as per their position they have to follow the rules and regulations in an organization. But all the members who are working in the organization, they have to follow the rules and regulations. So clearly again I will explain actually what is this point wise. So first one is C, organization is well structured. Organization is well structured. Organization well structured means nothing but the organization which they have started, also the business which they have started, that should be clearly structured. Nothing but clearly should be mentioned. Next, proper chain of management. Proper chain of management means nothing but one by one should be there, from higher level to the lower level to the middle level. In that way they should be. Next, set rules and regulations. They have to fix certain rules and regulations. If there are any rules and regulations, then only all of them they will work correctly. Communication and decision making is formal. So compulsory in organization there should be a communication and they should make even a decision should be made. So that should be a formal in the organization. Okay. So here you see here we have a 6 principles, same which the points there I have explained. Again these 6 principles we have. Okay, see here ma. What is the first principle? Proper division of labor. Proper division of labor means, here Weber what he has said means, in an organization there should be a division of labor. Division of labor, nothing but work should be not hold only to the one person ma. See here, division of labor, specialization should be fixed and there should be a balance between the power and responsibilities. Nothing but in an organization, as per the specialization there should be a division. Nothing but if suppose they want a marketing manager. In case of marketing manager, which person they have to select? The person who is specialized in the marketing field. Only that person should be selected. Yes or no? If suppose they want a financial they want an accountant. So whom they have to select? The person who is an accountant, only that type of person they have to, who is nothing but who is specialized in accountant, that person they have to select here. So here, as per the specialization, as per the requirement and everything, okay, in that way the work should be divided, in that way work should be divided and division of labor should be there. Next one, chain of command. So here, chain of command is nothing but a organizational hierarchy. Organizational hierarchy means nothing but here the work should be flow from top level to the lower levels, top level to the lower levels. See the here, information, decision and works flow effectively from top to bottom. Information, decision and works flow from effectively from top to bottom. Okay, next one, separation of personal and official property. Separation of personal and official property means here in an organization, owners will be there. Who are the owners in the organization? The higher level people, they are called as the owners of the organization. Who are they? CEO, president, chairman, board of directors, they are called as the owners. And organization is a separate entity. Okay, so why organization separate entity? Because here it will be a mainly large scale business. In case of large scale business, owners and the organization will not be same. So whereas in case of sole proprietorship, partnership, there will be owners and business will be the same. But in case of large scale business, what happens ma, the owners and organizations are compulsory separate, they will be separate here. Next one, application of consistent and complete rules. Application of consistent and complete consistence and complete rules here. See, proper rules and regulations. Proper rules and regulations. So Weber, what he has said means compulsory there should be a proper rules and regulations followed in every step of the organization. Nothing but the rules which they have framed, all the rules should be followed by the employees in the organization, equally applicable for every member of the organization. The rules which they have made, those all rules are applied equally for each and every one. Next, fifth principle, selection and promotion based on qualifications. Selection and promotion based on qualifications. See here, selection and promotions of workers should be based on skills, experience and age. Till I have given an example there. If I suppose in an organization a marketing manager is required. So if marketing manager is required, what we have to see? We have to see that his marketing, how his marketing skills are there and how his experience and what is age. According to that, there should be a selection and even the promotion. Promotion of workers means nothing but if suppose a person is working more efficient, he is putting his efforts in the organization. So that person should be appreciated and he should give the organization has to give a promotion. So that is a point here, selection and promotion based on qualifications. Next, sixth one. What is the sixth one ma here? Training in job requirements and skills. Nothing but if in an organization, if suppose they have selected or else they have recruited one person, means compulsory what they have to do, they have to give a training to that person regarding the organization, regarding the work. They have to give a training and they have to improve the skills of the employees. So here Weber, what he has said ma, six principles. What he has said, six principles: proper division of labor, chain of command, separation of principal and official property, application of consistent and complete rules, selection and promotion based on qualifications, training in job requirements and skills. So these six principles he has mentioned regarding the bureaucratic management. Nothing but he has given the bureaucratic management in his he has described all these things ma. Next one, features. Again same principles and features, again they are same ma. See, well defined chain of command, nothing but in this in the bureaucratic management they have defined the chain of command, that how the work should be flow from top level to the middle level, lower level. Division of labor and specialization, formal and informal relations among personals, fair selection and promotion based on qualifications, consistency in the organization actions, rules and regulations are followed and equally applied. Rules and regulations followed and equally applied. What the principles I have explained, again same thing are the features here. Principles and same thing are the features here. Okay, so even Weber, what happened means, in for Weber also there are certain certain disadvantages are there in case of Weber bureaucratic management. Okay, certain disadvantages are there, benefits are there. So what are they? Let's see first here ma. the rules and procedures are decided for every work. It leads to consistency in employee behavior. Since employees are bound to follow the rules, etc., the management process becomes easy. Nothing but the rules which they have fixed, the rules, regulations which they have fixed. Nothing but what happens is for each and every work, compulsory they have to fix. These are the rules they have to say. So if they have fixed the rules, means compulsory the employees they have to follow. If employees are following those rules, means the goal which they want to achieve easily they can achieve. Okay, the duties and responsibilities of each job are clearly defined. There is a question of overlapping and conflict. Job duties are eliminated. Before itself they have already they will set the duties and responsibilities of each and every employee. So by that what is happening means a delay of working is eliminated. Okay, by because already particular person he has to do this work, they will mention. Okay, in case of bureaucratic management, so that's why what happens, the delay will be mentioned, the delay is eliminated. Next, the selection process and promotion procedures. Till now what I have discussed here. So here which person they have to select and what is the procedure. Okay, what is a procedure. So this all what happens means this will help that to keep a right person in a right place, Because next one, the division of labor helps workers in becoming experts in their jobs. The performance of employees improves considerably. So here what happens means already in the principle I have explained, division of labor. So if suppose they are doing a division of labor in an organization, means what happens means that person will be expert in that form. That means he will become an expert. If one person is doing that work regularly, means what happens, he will be expert in that. So that is one of the main advantage in the bureaucratic management. Next, the organization does not suffer when person leaves it. If one person goes on, some other occupies that place and work does not suffer. So here what happens means in case of bureaucratic management, if one person is leaving from the organization, so it doesn't suffer. Why? Because already they will be set rules and regulations. They will be setting rules and regulations, everything. So if one person is moving also, what happens, the organization may not suffer. Other person will replace at his place. Okay. Next, even a bureaucratic management, they have certain disadvantages. What are those disadvantages? Means the system suffers from red tape and paperwork. In this organization there are lots of rules and regulations. Strictly they will follow. So even there is a lot of paperwork. So that is a disadvantage here. The employees do not develop belongings to the organization. Here what the employees do means they will do the work which they have allocated to them. So they don't go to the other works. They won't go to the other works. That is the point here. Next, the excessive reliance on rules and regulations and adherence to these policies inhibit initiative and growth of the employees. They are treated like machine, not like an individual. So here what is happening means here the employees, they have to follow the rules and regulations of the company only, nothing but of the organization only. Their own skills they can't use here. So by that what is happening means the employees, what they will do, what the higher authorities have said, that work they will do, but they won't keep their ideas and their techniques in the organization. By that what is happening, the employees are just treated like a machines over there. Next, the employees become too used to the system. They resist to any change and introduction of new techniques of operations. So here what is happening is the employees, what they say, they will fix to that system only, nothing but the higher authorities, they will give some work and they have to do that work. So by that what happens happening means they won't keep any, nothing but they won't keep any work to their minds. Okay, so by that they won't think even to improve any new techniques of the operations. Okay, so these are the disadvantages in case of bureaucratic management. So here what is the point means in case of bureaucratic management, mainly it is done in government organizations only. It is done only in the government organizations. In business it won't exist. In business it won't exist. It is mainly done in government departments only. Okay, not in a private organization. That is a one more point regarding the bureaucratic management. Okay, so this is a in classical approach. This is a topic regarding the bureaucratic management. In the next class I will be explaining about the scientific management. Okay.